Fernando Alonso is back in the Formula One spotlight after making a shocking statement directly targeting Lewis Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel. In an exclusive interview following the 2025 Japanese GP, Alonso claimed that only Max Verstappen was really fighting for his title, and compared the situation to the dominance of previous world champions. How does Alonso compare Max Verstappen's struggles to those of previous world champions? Let's discuss. In a statement that has rocked the F1 paddock, Alonso has no doubt that world champions such as Lewis Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel did not have to fight as hard as Max Verstappen to win their titles. According to him, both enjoyed moments of dominance that were made much easier by their vastly superior cars and less competitive rivals. Max really fought every step of the way. Every victory he achieved was the result of incredible hard work. No other driver fought as hard for the title, said Alonso. Lewis Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel, they had an easier road. They may be geniuses, but they didn't face the same challenges as Max, he continued. This statement immediately caused a backlash from various parties, with many fans questioning whether Alonso was trying to downplay Hamilton and Vettel's achievements or was simply speaking about a reality that many people may not be aware of. The reason for this controversial statement came after Max Verstappen's extraordinary performance at the 2025 Japanese GP. Under intense pressure from McLaren, who dominated every free practice session, Verstappen managed to take pole position with a stunning qualifying lap, without the help of DRS or a slipstream from his team. On race day, Verstappen started from pole position and was never threatened by his rivals. Although his car did not look as fast as his rivals, especially McLaren, who had shown impressive performances throughout the weekend, Verstappen showed an extraordinary ability to maximize the potential of his car. He built a 10-second lead in just 25 laps, and despite his team's pleas to slow to save his tires, Verstappen held on and extended the gap. It wasn't an engine victory, it was a result of Verstappen's hard work and skill. The car didn't even look fast enough for pole, let alone to win, said Alonso. Alonso's comments also highlighted how different the approaches to the title of previous world champions have been compared to Verstappen's. Alonso noted that throughout the 2010 to 2020 era, Vettel and Hamilton enjoyed dominance due to their technical superiority, as well as the regulatory stability that gave their teams a huge advantage. Vettel only really had the pressure in 2012, and that was because Red Bull started to have problems with their car. Whereas Hamilton, from 2014 to 2020, enjoyed the regulatory stability that benefited Mercedes, which made it easier to dominate, Alonso continued. Verstappen, however, never had that luxury, according to Alonso. Although Red Bull was very dominant in the 2023 season, Verstappen always had to fight hard outside of that season. In 2022, for example, Ferrari were very strong at the start of the season, and Verstappen even had 2 retirements in the first race. Verstappen has to work hard every year. In 2022, Ferrari did very well and even led the championship. Verstappen had to react every week with strategies and changes to stay competitive, explained Alonso. But Alonso also said that 2023 was a different year. That season, Red Bull was completely unstoppable with Verstappen at the wheel, posting a winning record for most of the season. Verstappen won 19 of the 22 races, with a much wider margin of victory than his rivals. 2023 was a really easy season for Verstappen. It was a season where everything went perfectly for him, but outside of that he was always in a very challenging situation. Like I said, he had to fight every weekend, added Alonso. However, he also stressed that although 2023 was a season of dominance, outside of that year Verstappen never enjoyed too easy conditions. Every year he had to fight to adapt the car and face tough competition. Alonso also compared Verstappen's struggles to the 2012 season he experienced. Back then, he almost won the world title even though the Ferrari he drove was considered a slower car than Red Bull and McLaren. He never got a dominant car, but with perseverance and skill, he brought Ferrari to a very competitive position. 2012 was a year where I had to fight against everything. Our car wasn't fast enough, but we kept fighting and almost won the title. It was a very emotional and challenging season, and I see a lot of similarities with what Verstappen is doing now, Alonso recalled. One particularly interesting aspect of Alonso's comments was his analysis of how Verstappen has had little to no pressure from teammate Sergio Perez. As Red Bull's second driver, Perez failed to match Verstappen throughout the season, even in his most dominant campaign. In 2023, Perez won just 2 races, while Verstappen won nearly all of the titles. Perez didn't really challenge Max. Even in his most dominant season in 2023, he only managed to win twice. There was no real internal battle, and that made it much harder for Verstappen to progress, said Alonso. Fernando Alonso's statement immediately set off a wave of mixed reactions throughout the Formula One community. His sharp comments divided opinion and provoked responses from drivers, analysts, and millions of fans around the world. Some fans felt that Alonso underestimated the great achievements of Lewis Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel, two great names who have made history and faced tough challenges on the track throughout their careers. They felt that the dominance achieved by both did not come easily, but was the result of hard work, careful team strategy, and an extraordinary ability to read race situations. However, there were many who agreed with Alonso. They saw the statement as a reflection of a reality that is sometimes hidden in the world of F1, that a driver's success is often heavily influenced by the quality of the car, the dominance of the team, and certain moments in the history of the championship. One fan on social media put it bluntly, Vettel and Hamilton were destroyed by real competition. Maybe it is Verstappen's time to feel it. So far, Lewis Hamilton has not responded to the sharp and controversial statement made by Fernando Alonso some time ago. In a Formula One world full of drama and rivalry, the silence of a seven-time world champion like Hamilton certainly raises big questions. Has he deliberately chosen not to respond? Or is it part of a larger strategy to avoid escalating the conflict ahead of a crucial season? Hamilton's silence could be a very calculated strategy. He may not want to respond to Alonso at this time, knowing that an emotional response could actually worsen the atmosphere and give his opponent a psychological advantage, said one F1 analyst who has been following the development of this situation closely. But one thing is for sure, the longer he remains silent, the greater the public's curiosity and expectation for the statements that may come. Alonso's statement, which implicitly questions the validity of Hamilton's dominance in the hybrid era of F1, has sparked a wave of discussion among fans, observers, and former drivers. Many interpreted the comment as a dig at Hamilton's performance, which has historically been seen as highly dependent on the strength of the Mercedes car. On the other hand, Hamilton's supporters see his silence as a form of maturity and focus. With the 2025 season already heating up before the first race, especially with the Bahrain Grand Prix, Hamilton seems to be keeping his mind and energy focused on what's happening on the track. The entire F1 community is now watching him. Everyone is waiting to see if he will finally speak, and if so, whether it will be a quiet clarification or a sharp retort that could change the dynamics of the season. Either way, one thing is clear, Hamilton's silence is not without meaning. In the strategic world of racing, silence can sometimes be the deadliest weapon. As the pressure mounts in the F1 paddock, Fernando Alonso's comments could be more than just an offhand remark. His comments could be more than just a personal opinion. He could be sending a subtle signal to rival teams to take a more serious approach to challenging Max Verstappen's dominance. Whether it's a compliment, a provocation, or a competitive push, the atmosphere in F1 is heating up. All eyes are on what's next, who will take the plunge and who's ready to shake up the game. Let us know in the comments.